Hey guys, so for 4.4 we're talking about congruent triangles, specifically which pieces of each triangle are congruent to which pieces of the other triangle. So if you're given two congruent triangles, how do we know which angles are congruent to which? For example here, if we have two triangles here, we see that A and D, those two angles are congruent. B and E are congruent. C and F are congruent. It's all about the order in which we write this out. So this is triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, which means that also AB is congruent to, side AB is congruent to, you guessed it, DE. BC is congruent to EF, and AC is congruent to side DF. And we also see that from the pictures as well. We said angle A is congruent to angle D. That's because they both have one tick. We said angle B and angle E are congruent, B and E. That's because they both have two ticks. We said angle C is congruent to angle F. That's because they each have three ticks. And now we look at sides. So side AB and DE. AB, DE, both have one tick. BC, EF, BC, EF, both have two ticks. And lastly, AC and DF. AC, DF, both have three ticks. Okay? And that's essentially what this is all saying here. So you can pause the video and take a look at that. And the same is also true for anything more than a three-sided figure as well. So, as is just a last example here, if I have something like triangle JKL is congruent to triangle NOP, we therefore know that J is congruent to N, and angle K is congruent to angle O. Angle L is congruent to angle P. Again, it's all based off of how these are arranged. It's in JKL order, it's in NOP order, so that means those things are all true. JK and NO, those two sides are congruent. KL and OP, those two sides are congruent. And JL is going to be congruent to NP for sides. Okay. Now, here's what it looks like when we're given expressions. So for example here, if it says find the value of x, well, x is for this side, so I need to know what AB is. Well, AB is congruent to DE. So what's DE? DE is 6. Therefore, I know 2x minus 2 must be 6. So I just write that. 2x minus 2 equals 6. And 2 to both sides, I get 2x equals 8, so x equals 4. Now it says find f. Well, f is congruent to c. So I need to figure out what that angle is right here. Okay. Well, if this is 53 and this is 90, I can just take 90 minus 53. Take 90 minus, because all the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180, so I can say 90 plus 53 plus angle C. Angle C has to equal 180. So I can go 90 plus 53, which is, 143, plus angle C equals 180. And then I can Subtract 143 from both sides. And we get angle C equals 37. Well, if angle C equals 37, and again, C is congruent to F, then I know F must also be 37. So angle F equals 37. There we go. So what it will look like on your homework is like this for number 5 through 11. The first 4 are going to be referencing this. 5 through 11 will look something like this. So again, it says those two triangles are congruent. Well, if QS, what's the relation between QS and TV? Notice where they are positioned in this statement. Those two sides are equal. If they're equal, then that means QS and TV are congruent. So I just say that. So I write 4v plus 5 equals 5v minus 6. I'm going to subtract 4v from both sides and get 5 equals v minus 6. Add 6 to both sides to get 11. So it doesn't say find v, it says find QS and TV, which means I just need to plug in. If I know that v is 11, plug it in here. So I go 4 times 11 plus 5. So 44 plus 5. Therefore, QS, side QS equals 49. And if QS equals 49, TV also equals 49 because I know they're equal. And that's how you do number 5 through 11. And then for the rest of them, it looks like this. It'll say something about a paper airplane. It'll say something like this, and basically it'll say this angle and this angle are 90 degrees, which means this angle and this angle are 90 degrees. And it'll say a bunch of things are equal, but it'll tell you what this angle is. So let's say this is 110, which means this is also 110. And I'll just tell you right now that all the angles in a 4-side figure have to add up to 360. Just like in a triangle, all the sides of a triangle have to add up to 180, or all the angles have to add up to 180. All the angles in a 4-side figure have to add up to 360. So in this case, if 90 plus 90 plus 110 plus I don't know, that all has to equal 360. So that gets me 290 plus x equals 360. Subtract 290 from both sides, so I get x equals 70. So that means this angle and this angle would have to be 70, which is essentially what you're solving for on those. And then the last two are going to reference these things above here. So if it says that, say something like JL, if it says JL is 10, then what else do I know? Well, JL is right here. That means NP must also be 10. If it says something like angle K equals 37, well, if angle K and angle O are congruent, then that means angle O must also be 37. And that basically takes care of 4.4. When we get to 4.5 and 4.6, instead of needing all 6 parts, like we reference here, you need 3 angles and 3 sides. We'll actually only need 3 parts in order to determine that 2 triangles are actually congruent. And we'll get into that later in 4 or 5. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.